money they wanted to spend, the programs that they wanted to create were actually scary. And when we look what happened to the Democrats in 2010, they basically threw them out of the House. I think you're going to see the same thing occur this year in the Senate. But you have to say, why is the Senate lose vote? But when you look at the beginning, you say it's got to be the economy and jobs. And in our region here, until we turn the housing market, this is the economy that we're very difficult. But if you say, why does the Senate not pass the budget in over 3 years? Over 3 years. We've passed the budget every year. When the Democrats were in charge, I'm proud to say I've never voted for a Democrat budget. When I was in the state legislature, we were in the majority one year. I think I was the only Republican in California to chair the budget committee in 65 years. Now, we had a $329 million surplus. It was the first year we fully enacted class size reduction. I wrote the bill. We did that. We fully funded the government in California, and we had a surplus. So when educators say you can't do it without more, we did it then with less, and we proved we couldn't. The problem with the Democrats is they want to continue to spend money. If you look at the president's budget he proposed this year, and we put the president's budget before the House. We put about 4 budgets, Black Caucus budget, Democrat budget. We singled out the president's budget, and we said, here it is, the your president must vote. You know how many votes he got? 0. Now, when you have a Democratic president, you cannot get one Democrat to vote for his own bill, because they had $1.6 trillion worth of tax increases in it. Our bill cut taxes at the bottom would be 10% or 25%. There's nothing in between, there's nothing above. We're going to cut corporate rates from 35 to 25. And the goal is to fit non-defense spending, we're going to cut to 2008 levels and flatline. Now, the problem you're going to have happening is if the tax increases that Bush enacted in 2001 and 2003, they're set to expire in January. If you have that occur at the same time the spending cuts occur that we agreed to, you're going to have a huge, huge negative in this economy. Even the president talks one thing now, and the Democrats do, but you won't get the Democrats to vote for a tax increase. There's a reason, because they realize what's coming. But when they were in control, they would vote for anything. The so-called stimulus bill, for $800 billion, was put out without any Republicans. You had 2 that lost their seats, because they're not Republicans anymore. The problem we have is, when we were ready to put a transportation bill out that would really create jobs for drivers, Chairman Oberstein was a Democrat. I worked with him, he's been there for 30-some years. He's going to do a press release at 1 o'clock announcing the bill. President Clinton went on TV at 11 o'clock, and he could tell the Democrat that there was going to be no transportation bill in Washington because all the money had been spent in the stimulus bill. Now, I've never, ever in my life seen the president do that. Now, Jimmy Carter was in this. You could walk into a room with Jimmy Carter and cut a deal. But when you left the room, you didn't change his mind already. I mean, that was that. Jimmy Billy was the same way. Clint was the same. Clint was, of course, he's from Arkansas. So you knew it was good when Jimmy told you something, Bill told you something that wasn't true, they would change their mind. But this president won't even talk to you. This president won't even talk to the fellow Democrats. Have you ever looked at his face? I've never seen a more arrogant man in my entire life. He talks down. Every year we have a State of the Union. I have never had a president not give you a copy of the State of the Union, except Mr. Obama. Twice. We go into the State of the Union, no, in fact, this last one, only the Democrats got one. Republicans sit over there without anything to follow them on, just listening, trying to take some notes. And the Democrats had one to get on paper like this, and they printed it. I didn't even formal resolution to have. Our goal is we're trying to cut $5.3 trillion in the next 10 years. Now, the state of California is a lot different than the federal government. I chair international monetary policy and trade. My good friend Ron Paul, he chairs domestic monetary policy. So Ron and I have had a good time dealing with some of the issues. But if you watch what's happening in Europe today, if you recall when we got in trouble, Europe wasn't there for us at all. Now, there's been a lot of debate whether the IMF is funding basically Europe and the Eurozone with the federal dollars. It's not occurring. What the IMF is doing is they're using political expertise and policy expertise on the financial sector, but they're not really funding it with dollars. So the argument that's being made that that's happening has not yet. They've not asked a dime from Congress to do it. We've had the Federal Reserve do a currency currency swap. What a currency swap is, we trade our currency for their currency because the euro has a tremendous problem, but they have to pay the currency back in U.S. dollars. So it's not really a gift, it's a trade. Don't really approve of it, there's a situation there we're in over there. It's scary. But we don't want to bring their problems back on the country. And that's the concern we have today. Endorsement-wise, I've been endorsed by the California Republican Party, National Association of Realtors, California Association of Realtors, ABC, which is a non-union contractors group, the National Tax Limitation Group, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Traditional Rights Coalition Group, we shall endorse the first one because of my past record. I'm proud to be a member of the Tea Party caucus in Washington. Good friends of mine, Jim Jordan on there, as you know. And Royce, Michelle Watkins, a good friend of Michelle's endorsing in this race. She and I are both founders of the Tea Party movement in Congress. Now, Michelle is one of the leaders you see out there globally. I say globally, not just in this country. But she really put the organizations together to provide impetus, to provide the ability they needed to get the message out and the policy they needed to make them a violent group. It's really, really good to see you doing this. Now, what we see in Washington is different. They're not just Republicans. They're declining to state the Democrats. Now, you think Democrats are not called the Tea Party. In other states, they are. And it would surprise you. When we tried to vote down Obamacare, and we're going to kill that yet, we voted against everything we could do. Numbers on the mall that you could count. And you would have about 200 Democrat protesters, and they put them on TV. And the people down below were not even on TV. So a lot of us went down there, we handed out water to them, we shook their hand, we thanked them for being there. We had that bill beat till 3:30 in the afternoon. Till they got a Democrat who was a good conservative Democrat, we thought, blew up, sell out. When he sold out, he took 10 other Democrats with him, and every one of those guys lost re-election. You're holding people accountable for what they do. Speeches are cheap. When you watch them go to Washington, that means I've got what time? 5 minutes in this big program. You need to hold them accountable. Now, we've taken back the majority in the House. I think I've heard you want to take that. We've had, for the first time, over 80 freshman members of Congress. And John Boehner's had a heck of a good time trying to keep everybody together. The problem is, you've got to get people to unite and agree to go one direction. I'll give the Democrats credit for one thing. You can go get them to go in their caucus or their conference, and every one of them will come out and say the same line. We can't get everyone to go out and agree on the truth. And that's difficult sometimes. It's really hard. It's really hard. When you really want to change this country, you really want to do what's right, you try to get it close. We cannot continue to spend money we don't have. We cannot put the burden on the American people. I love the President Democrats. They say they support small businesses if you don't make them about $250,000 a year. And my comment is, how many of you want to work for somebody who's poor? So the guy doesn't make enough money to make payroll. And I started off as a young guy with an old van and a cardboard box full of tools, and that was my company. And I come from a broken home. I was raised with my grandparents in a place called South Whittier. They were both from Arkansas. My grandparents had about a third grade education. My mother went to school in the 8th grade. She went 3 years because we didn't have high school. So you had to learn to do it yourself in the hard way. And I remember everybody saying, you can't do it, but you can do it. If government will get out of your way and let you do what's right and put people to work, this country will be back to what it used to be. But you know what? Our grandparents used to swat flies and poison rats. Now we set aside habitat for them. Now, in 2005, I introduced a bill in the transportation bill that said the state of California, their secret process needs for a state NEPA. You don't have to go through 2 environmental processes. California is the only state that did it for, say, 17 months on process time and 30 months on delivering a project in California. The new transportation bill, I would include language that every city and county in this country can do the same thing. Sandbags behind the CTA, they're all behind it because it will save money, it gets people back to work today, and it gets the projects online when you can get them online. Government needs to get out of the way. Democrats believe in regulation. Business is bad. Big oil is bad. But you know, it's like the pipeline. Remember the Keystone Pipeline? Obama's saying, look, we're doing the state here, look what I've done. Obama has no control within the state. Obama only has control on the border. Canada wants to spend $7 billion to bring a pipeline in, and he won't let it come across the border. So when you hear Democrats say, no, Obama has approved it, no. Obama has no process approval within the borders of the United States. He only has approval when it comes across the border. You want to come from Canada or Mexico, he and the administration can't stop that. But what they're saying they're doing, they're not. They're lying. And what he's doing today to attack the Supreme Court is a point. He's supposed to be a constitutional scholar, he's a constitutional liar. And build the 70-ton Republican Party. I got these young Republicans that are coming to a pizza party at our office at 5 o'clock on Monday. The young guys you saw. Woo! I had 2 young Republicans that went to Berkeley, were part of the Berkeley Republican Party. I didn't think that existed. And they actually graduated from it. And, you know, and that was really great. They were really great guys. I said, how did you survive in Berkeley? He said, we were novel and love. But you know what? I want to applaud you for what you're doing. Republicans, there's a right and a wrong.